There was a child. His teacher kicked him out of school, calling him too stupid. But when that child grew up, he invented the light bulb and illuminated the entire world. At the same time, the phonograph, movie camera, power plant were also his work. How did this man with 1,093 patents leave his mark on history? Tonight we will discover together the story of one of history's greatest inventors, the man who defeated darkness, recorded sound, captured moving images, Thomas Alva Edison. Was he really the greatest genius history has ever seen, or just someone very hard-working and lucky? Don't forget to like our video and subscribe to the channel. Also write in the comments which of Edison's inventions impressed you more. Sometimes one thing a person discovers in history can change our entire lives. Thomas Alva Edison, born in the small town of Milan, Ohio in 1847, was a child who from childhood was curious about everything, asking questions, tinkering. His father Samuel was a businessman. His mother Nancy was a former teacher. The endless questions in Thomas's mind were both a source of pride and headache for his family. The little child constantly asked, why? Why do birds fly? Why does fire burn? Why do stars shine? Everything was a great mystery and puzzle to be solved for him. At elementary school, he started in Port Huron in 1854. He experienced a complete disaster. His teacher, Reverend Engel, said he was too confused in his head, too slow, cannot learn, and kicked him out of school after only 3 months. That day when Thomas came home crying, his mother Nancy saw her child's potential and decided to educate him at home. "My son is not stupid. He just thinks differently," she said. This rejection would be a turning point in Edison's life. Nancy Edison was not just a teacher, but also her son's greatest supporter. She taught him reading and writing, explained mathematical concepts, but most importantly, did everything she could to fuel his curiosity. She was the one who gave Thomas his first chemistry set, taught him to do experiments. In the small laboratory he set up in the basement, the child worked for hours, made mixtures, caused small explosions. His family was sometimes frightened by the strange sounds in the house. At 12 years old, he was forced into working life. His family was experiencing financial difficulties, and Thomas started working as a newspaper seller on the Grand Trunk Railway. But this was not an ordinary job. Thomas had set up a small chemistry laboratory in the train's baggage car, doing experiments during the journey. One day, an experiment, he did set the train car on fire. The engineer harshly kicked him off the train. This incident was the beginning of hearing loss, but never discouraged Thomas. The dramatic event in 1862 completely determined the course of his life. At Mount Clemens Station, 3-year-old Jimmy Mackenzie fell onto the tracks while playing. When the oncoming train was about to crush the child, Thomas jumped without thinking and saved the child at the last moment. The child's father, Station Master J.U. Mackenzie, offered to teach Thomas telegraphy to show his gratitude. This technical skill would change his life. Telegraph technology was the most advanced technology of the 1860s, and while Thomas was learning this job, he seriously met electricity for the first time. Working night shifts, during the day, he did experiments, tried to improve telegraph systems. He learned Morse code so quickly that he soon became one of the country's best operators. The mysterious power of electricity fascinated him. In 1868, he went to Boston, and at 21 years old received his first patent. he had invented an electric vote-counting machine. This machine would speed up voting in assemblies, reduce errors. With great excitement, he went to Washington and showed it to politicians. But politicians categorically rejected this invention because long debates meant opportunity and time for them. Thomas had learned his first big lesson in a bitter way. It's not enough if an invention just works perfectly. People must also really need it. This failure did not discourage him. On the contrary, it motivated him even more. In 1869, he went to New York. He only had $1 in his pocket, but thousands of ideas in his head. While working on Wall Street, the gold-priced telegraph system broke down, and the entire stock market fell into great panic. When Thomas quickly fixed the system, big companies noticed him. Gold and Stock Telegraph Company offered him $40,000, a tremendous amount for that time. With this money in 1871, he established his first real laboratory in Newark. Now he was not only dreaming, but turning his inventions into reality. The same year, he married Mary Stilwell. Mary was 16 years old, a quiet, patient girl. She endured Thomas working in the laboratory at night, sometimes not coming home for days. This marriage gave him 3 children, Marion, Thomas Jr., and William. But Thomas could not really succeed at fatherhood. Work was more important than everything. In 1876, he took a historic step. He established the Invention Factory in Menlo Park, the world's first research and development center. Here, a talented team of 20 people worked on new projects every day. Edison's goal was bold: produce a small invention every 10 days, a major invention every 6 months. To work at this pace, he worked 16 to 18 hours a day, only catching short naps on the desk. The phonograph invention came in 1877 and completely changed his life. When Thomas made the first machine that recorded and played "Mary Had a Little Lamb," his assistants were shocked. How could sound be stored and played back? This miracle enchanted everyone. Edison suddenly became world famous. Newspapers called him the Wizard of Menlo Park. People came to see him, looked at him as if he were a wizard. But Edison's real obsession was making an electric lamp. At that time, homes were illuminated with candles and dangerous gas lamps. Fires broke out very frequently. People died from gas poisoning. Electric lamp was theoretically possible, but not practical. Existing bulbs burned for a few minutes, then burned out and turned to ash. The problem was finding the right filament, material that would give light when electricity passed through but wouldn't burn. In 1878, he began the electric lamp project obsessively. This project became an obsession for him. Edison and his team tried 3,000 different materials: paper, bamboo, cotton, silk, hair, even beard. They tested everything: platinum, carbon, copper, silver. Every metal, every organic substance was tried. During these experiments, he experienced countless failures. There were small explosions, fires in the laboratory. His employees wanted to give up, but Edison never gave up. "I'm not failing. I'm just discovering 10,000 ways that won't work," he shouted. He worked in the laboratory throughout the nights, doing experiments with soot on his hands. His wife Mary's troubles were increasing, but Thomas wasn't listening. His obsession had completely taken him over. With each failed attempt, he would start again saying, "This time it will work." On the night of October 21st, 1879, finally the miracle happened. The carbonized bamboo filament burned for 13.5 hours. Everyone in the laboratory watched, holding their breath. As the hours passed, excitement increased. After midnight, Edison shouted, "This is it! This is it!" Now the electric lamp was real. But this was just the beginning. Developing his work, he increased filament life to 1,200 hours. On December 31st, 1879, a big demonstration was held in Menlo Park. Hundreds of bulbs were lit at the same time. The entire laboratory and surroundings were illuminated like day. Thousands of people came. Journalists wrote excited news. Edison had officially announced to the world that the electric age had begun. But making a bulb was not enough. People needed to have electricity in their homes. Edison had to invent the entire electrical system from scratch. Generator, grid, wiring, switch, fuse, meter. Each one a separate engineering marvel. In 1882, the world's first power plant opened on Pearl Street in New York. 85 buildings were given electricity. That day, Edison experienced the great happiness of walking the streets and seeing the lamps lit. His dream had finally come true. But in the technology world, the Great War had begun. George Westinghouse challenged Edison's direct current DC system with the alternating current AC system. This war of currents would be one of the biggest and most ruthless battles in technology history. Edison claimed the DC system was safer, tried to show AC was deadly dangerous. During this war, Edison's dark side emerged. To show the public the dangers of AC, he conducted terrible experiments on dogs, cats, even an elephant. He tried to scare people by killing animals with AC current. During these demonstrations, he used the phrase Westinghoused, trying to identify AC with death. He even played a role in the invention of the electric chair. This period was the most controversial and dark years of Edison's career. During this time, a young Serbian engineer came to his laboratory, Nikola Tesla. Tesla was only 28 years old, but very intelligent, creative, also a man with strange obsessions. In his head were rotating motors, alternating current systems, wireless energy transmission dreams. Edison offered him work on AC motors. Tesla accepted, but disagreement between them did not take long to arise. Tesla said the AC system was the future. Edison strongly opposed this. The conflict between two geniuses heated up day by day. Tesla claimed Edison did not keep his promises, wronged him, stole his ideas. Edison belittled Tesla as theorist, dreamer, who doesn't understand practice. The biggest fight between them arose over payment. Edison had told Tesla he would give him $50,000 if he improved the DC generators, but when Tesla finished the job, he refused payment, saying, "You don't understand American humor." This betrayal drove Tesla crazy. Finally, Tesla left the laboratory and went to Edison's biggest rival, Westinghouse. This separation wounded Edison deeply. Tesla was not just a talented engineer, but also a visionary inventor. His AC motors and transformers tremendously strengthened the Westinghouse system. Thanks to Tesla's inventions, the AC system could carry electricity much longer distances than DC. The final battle was experienced in the Chicago World's Fair lighting bid in 1893. While Edison bid $554,000, the Westinghouse and Tesla duo came out at $399,000. Westinghouse won the bid. Millions of visitors saw the AC system's brilliance, reliability. Edison's DC system was defeated in the public's eyes. Worse still, he also lost the Niagara Falls power plant project. This project was critical in shaping the future electrical industry. Westinghouse and Tesla's AC system was chosen. Edison thus definitively lost the electricity war. This defeat greatly wounded his pride. During this time, he also experienced tragedy in his private life. In 1884, his beloved wife Mary died of a brain tumor at only 29 years old. Edison was very sad, but buried his emotions inside. Work was his everything. He tried to forget his pain by working. 2 years later, in 1886, he married the 20-year-old young and beautiful Mina Miller. Mina was energetic, social, a woman who understood Edison's work. Edison could not accept failure. In the 1890s, he entered the iron ore business. He tried to extract iron from low-quality ore by inventing the magnetic separation method. He had huge machines built for this enormous project, spent tons of money. But the project was a complete disaster. He lost $2 million. But Edison, with his characteristic humor, said, "At least I got an expensive education worth $2 million." In 1891, he became captivated by a new obsession: moving images. He started working on the kinetoscope. This machine was a revolutionary device that recorded and showed moving images. The foundation of the cinema industry would be laid here. In 1893, he established the Black Maria Studio, the world's first film studio. Boxing matches, dance shows, circus acts were filmed here. But Edison could not fully grasp this invention's tremendous potential. During this period, his friendship with Henry Ford began. Ford greatly admired Edison and was inspired by him. The two discussed the future of the automobile industry together, debated whether electric or gasoline cars would win. Edison believed electric cars were the future. In the 1900s, he focused on developing alkaline batteries. He invented the nickel-iron battery. These batteries were used in cars, submarines, telephone exchanges. Edison was again thinking ahead of his age. These batteries were so durable that some were still working even 100 years later. During World War I, he worked for the U.S. Navy. He developed devices that detected submarines, underwater communication systems, naval mines. Despite being 70 years old, he was proud to work for his country. He competed with young engineers, did not want to lose to them. During this period, he worked on 40 different military projects. In the 1920s, he established a Portland cement factory. He planned to build concrete houses. His goal was to provide everyone with affordable, durable homes. He even designed concrete furniture. This project was not completely successful, but showed his social vision. Improving people's quality of life was always a priority. In his last years, he spent time at his winter home in Fort Myers, Florida. He was close friends with Henry Ford and Rubber King Harvey Firestone. The three went on camping trips together every year, reminiscing about old days, talking about the future. Edison's curiosity never diminished. Even at 80 years old, he was planning new projects, doing experiments. In 1929, the 50th anniversary of the light bulb's invention was celebrated. Big ceremonies were held throughout America. Edison's achievements were recounted. Henry Ford even had a special museum built for him. But Edison was now old and ill. Diabetes, kidney problems, hearing loss were challenging him, but he still continued working. On the night of October 18, 1931, he breathed his last at his home in West Orange. His wife Mina and children were at his bedside. With Edison's death, America lost one of its greatest geniuses. During his funeral, as a show of respect, lights were dimmed for 1 minute nationwide. The world suddenly faced the reality that Edison was gone. Edison's legacy is not just his inventions. He was the founder of the modern research and development approach. The invention factory model at Menlo Park is used today in all technology companies, from Silicon Valley to China. His work discipline was legendary. The saying, "Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration," still inspires all entrepreneurs. Edison was also a great businessman, one of the founders of General Electric. He knew very well how to use his patents, how to make money. He had learned that inventing is not enough. Marketing and commercializing are also necessary. This approach laid the foundation of the modern technology industry. But there are also criticisms. The disagreement with Tesla, stubbornness about AC, cruel experiments on animals, are dark stains on his career. It is often claimed he stole his employees' ideas, did not give them credit. He was not a perfect person. He also had mistakes. Still, Edison's impact on the world is indisputable. Thanks to the electric lamp, nights turned into days. The phonograph created the music industry. The kinetoscope laid the foundation of the cinema industry. Power plants made modern cities possible. Without his inventions, today's life is unthinkable. Edison's story is also the story of the American dream. A poor family's child, a child rejected by the education system, became the world's most famous inventor through his own effort. This story still gives people hope today. The secret of his success is not just intelligence, but determination and endless industriousness. He experienced failure with thousands of experiments, but never gave up. He saw every failure as a learning opportunity. The philosophy, "I have not failed, I'm just finding ways that won't work," kept him standing. Edison was also one of the first inventors to understand the importance of teamwork. The team system he established at Menlo Park became a model for all subsequent research centers. He created not the genius inventor working alone, but the team leader inventor model. Today, the companies established by technology giants are following in Edison's footsteps. Apple's Steve Jobs, Google's founders, Tesla's Elon Musk all use his method: continuous research, experimentation, development, learning from failure. 6. In conclusion, Thomas Edison is not just the man who invented the light bulb, but the architect and visionary pioneer of the modern technology age. His industriousness, determination, and never-ending curiosity changed the entire world. That little child kicked out of school ultimately illuminated all humanity's darkness. The light Edison lit continues to burn forever, not only in his lamps, but also in the bright path he showed to humanity's future. And perhaps his most beautiful legacy is this: every failure is a harbinger of a new beginning.